Hey there, House here. With the MLB season officially started, I wanted to give you my predictions for the division winners this year. Let's start with the AL East. This division is full of talented teams. If you exclude the Orioles, you have 4 teams that have shown that they can perform at high levels and make the playoffs either through the division or the wild card. With there being 3 wild card spots available, one could assume that 2, if not all 3, are reserved for the teams from this division. As far as the favorite, though, I'm picking the Blue Jays. They already have big names like Vlad Guerrero Jr., Kevin Biggio, Bo Bichette, and George Springer. Now, they've also added power-hitting third baseman Matt Chapman. Adding that additional power to this lineup will carry them through the season. Now, on to the AL Central. This is a division that is really just a 2-team race. Those teams are the Chicago White Sox and the newly named Cleveland Guardians. The Guardians have a stout pitching staff with Shane Bieber to Zach Plesac. They also have a few offensive weapons to their credit, with Jose Ramirez being the guy to supply most of that offense. The White Sox are shaped up to be the team to beat in this division. They won the division last year and have made the playoffs in back-to-back years. They are now looking to have an extended run in the postseason. But before they get there, they still have to figure some things out. Their pitching staff could be the trouble spot for them this year. With Carlos Rodon leaving in free agency and the continued struggles of Dallas Keuchel, this could spell some early trouble for this team. But their offense will make up for a lot of their pitching issues, so I'm picking the White Sox as my favorite in this division. Lastly, for the American League, we have the West. The AL West is always one where you aren't quite sure which team will actually win. I always look at a team like the Angels as one that's waiting to fire on all cylinders and make the playoffs. It's funny and somewhat crazy to think that a player at the caliber of Mike Trout has only been in the postseason once. Since the addition of their dual phenom Shohei Ohtani, Trout has dealt with multiple injuries. But maybe this year they can finally get on the field together for a long period of time to finally make the playoffs. The Oakland Athletics were a team to look out for many years in a row. But with their offseason trades of Matt Chapman and Matt Olson, it looks like they're going for a mini rebuild. The Houston Astros, who are a few years away from their cheating scandal, are once again the team to beat in this division. They will be without their shortstop Carlos Correa, who signed in the offseason with the Twins, but even without him, they'll have somebody come up and fill that void and still be a tough out. Their starting pitching could be a weak spot for them, but their offense is one that is looking to be tops in the American League. I'm picking the Astros in this division. Now, let's check out the National League, shall we? First, we have the NL East, which consists of many great teams, including the World Series champion Atlanta Braves. The Braves will receive a boost this year with the return of Ronald Acuna, but they lost Jorge Soler and Freddie Freeman in free agency. Soler was a late season add that came up huge, but Freeman is the true big loss for this team. I don't believe Acuna will be enough to counter that loss. The Mets are a team that before the season was set to start could have been considered for a possible favorite to win this division with DeGrom and the signing of Max Scherzer. But early reports dictate that DeGrom is dealing with a stress-related injury to his scapula, and he'll be forced to shut down for 4 weeks and then reevaluated. Without their ace for at least the start of this season, the Mets are starting off on the wrong foot. That leaves me with the Philadelphia Phillies in my mind as the favorite to win this division. The Phillies have a strong pitching staff from their starters to their bullpen, and not to mention an offense that should have no problem putting up runs. They are my clear favorite. The NL Central is one that has turned into a 2-team race as of late. I don't see that changing much at this moment. The Cardinals are a team that always seem to find themselves in the mix, no matter who they have on their roster. The Brewers are a different story. Assuming that Christian Yelich is healthy, this team goes as far as he can take them. In years past, he's taken this team to the postseason, and I believe he can do that same thing this year with their starting pitchers and nearly untouchable bullpen. I'm picking the Brewers. Lastly, we have the NL West. Now, this division consists of the Padres, who have been a team that seems to sign and trade for a bunch of players lately that they thought would bring them to the promised land of a World Series, including a trade that took place earlier today that resulted in a bullpen arm from the Twins. Instead, what has happened is they've been dealt 2 early exits 2 years in a row, and last year not being able to make the playoffs. The start of this season is looking rough as well, as they received news that Fernando Tatis Jr. is having surgery on his fractured wrist, and he is expected to miss 3 months. The San Francisco Giants had an unbelievable year last year, and they came out of nowhere and won this division. It's hard to say if they'll have that same fortune this year, but who knows? Stranger things have happened. That leaves us with the Dodgers. The Dodgers are a team that always seem to be in the mix for the division as well as World Series favorites. They still have a good pitching staff, even with the loss of Max Scherzer. Their bullpen, with the addition of Craig Kimbrell, is looking strong, and their offense is still one to reckon with. I like the Dodgers in this division. Well, that's about all I wanted to cover for this video. If there were some predictions that I made that you disagree with, please leave your own division picks in the comment section. Lastly, for all my betting friends out there, remember, you win some and you lose some, but the house always wins.